16-year-old Liana Friedenbach and her 19-year-old boyfriend Felipe Caffé were heading out for their very first weekend camping trip together. They were young, they were excited, and they just wanted to spend some time alone, away from the busy city. Everything between them felt perfect. But the place they chose for their trip, a quiet rural area surrounded by dense forest, was hiding something far more dangerous than they could have ever imagined. The region was already notorious for violent crime and gang activity. Unfortunately, neither of them had any idea. What was supposed to be a simple, adventurous weekend would soon turn into the most horrifying experience of their lives. Because late that night, as the couple slept peacefully inside their tent, two men slowly approached in the darkness. One of them was holding a shotgun. The other carried a large hunting knife. They suddenly began shouting, forcing Liana and Felipe to wake up. Frozen in fear, the couple could barely move. The men dragged them out of the tent, tied their hands, and took them hostage. And from that moment on, their peaceful weekend was over. What followed would become one of Brazil's most disturbing and horrifying criminal cases. Liana Friedenbach was born on May 6, 1987, in São Paulo, Brazil. She grew up in a comfortable, upper-middle-class family. Her father, Ari, a lawyer, her mother, Maria, a homemaker, and her younger brother, a small but happy family. Liana was known as a sweet, grounded, and family-oriented girl. She was especially close to her father. Whenever she went out, she would always tell her parents exactly where she was going, who she was with, and when she would return. Her father would even pick her up from the nearby bus stop late at night. Liana's parents had enrolled her in one of the most prestigious private schools in São Paulo, hoping she would have the best possible future. Even at just 16 years old, Liana was already thinking seriously about her career. She wanted to study physical education and was preparing for FUVEST, the highly competitive entrance exam used by Brazil's top universities. Her dedication at such a young age showed just how focused and responsible she was. But around this time, something else happened. She met someone. At school, Liana met a 19-year-old student named Felipe Caffé. The two felt an instant connection. Felipe came from a much simpler background. Unlike many students at the private school, he wasn't wealthy. He was studying there on a scholarship while also working to support himself. But Felipe had clear dreams. He wanted to study law and eventually join the police force. Over time, their friendship slowly turned into a relationship. And like many young couples, they wanted to spend more time together. That's when Felipe came up with an idea: a camping trip. He told Liana about a rural area near a village called Embu Guaçu, where he had gone camping once before with friends. He remembered it as peaceful and beautiful, so he asked Liana if she wanted to go there with him. At first, the plan was to go with a group of friends, but as the date got closer, one by one, everyone canceled, until finally, only Felipe and Liana were left. Felipe still really wanted to go, and Liana didn't want to disappoint him, so they decided to go alone. But there was a problem. Liana knew her parents would never allow her to go camping alone with a boy they barely knew, especially to a remote location. So she lied. She told her father that she would be spending Friday night with her church youth group, and the next day they would be going on a supervised trip. Her father trusted her. He had no reason not to. To avoid suspicion, the couple even packed their camping gear a day earlier and hid their backpacks inside their school lockers. Meanwhile, Felipe told his parents the truth, that he was going camping with friends. Everything seemed perfectly planned. No one realized where the two teenagers were actually going. On Friday, October 31st, 2003, after school ended, Liana didn't go home. Instead, she met Felipe outside the school gate. They grabbed their backpacks and headed toward the city bus terminal. From there, they took a bus toward Embu Guaçu. After arriving near the village, they still had to walk about 4 to 5 kilometers through rural roads to reach the camping area. Their destination was near an old abandoned farmhouse. a place that had been closed years earlier after criminal activity in the area. But again, Liana and Felipe had no idea about the region's dark reputation. As they walked through the village, several locals stared at them strangely, almost as if they knew something the teenagers didn't. During their walk, they unknowingly crossed paths with two men. One was 16-year-old Champigna, the other was 32-year-old Pernambuco, and that moment changed everything. Later that evening, Liana and Felipe finished setting up their tent. While they were still arranging their campsite, Liana's father called her. He noticed something strange. The place sounded too quiet. He asked her why there were no voices around. Liana quickly made up an excuse. She told him everyone was exhausted from traveling and had gone to sleep early. Her father accepted the explanation and told her to rest. A few hours later, the couple fell asleep inside the tent, but sometime during the night, two shadows appeared outside. Champigna and Pernambuco had been watching them. They knew exactly where the tent was. One of them held a shotgun. The other carried a large knife. They shouted at the teenagers to come outside. Terrified, Liana and Felipe had no choice. Their hands and feet were tied. Blindfolds were placed over their eyes. At first, the couple believed the men just wanted to steal their belongings. But this was not a robbery. It was something far worse. Meanwhile, Liana's father began to worry. She never called that night. The next morning, her phone was switched off. After speaking to one of Liana's friends, the truth finally came out. There was no school trip. She had gone camping with Felipe near Embu-Guaçu. Her father immediately drove to the area and began searching. He even hired a helicopter through a business contact to drop missing posters over the region. Police soon joined the search, but deep inside the forest, something terrible had already begun. The kidnappers took Liana and Felipe deep into the forest. There, they brought them to an isolated house. Felipe was tied to a chair and brutally beaten. Liana was taken into another room. What happened next was unimaginable. Pernambuco sexually assaulted her. Felipe could hear everything from the other room, but he was powerless to stop it. Later, the captors moved them to another house where more men joined. Now there were 5 criminals involved. Soon, they made a chilling decision. They couldn't let Felipe live. On November 2nd, Pernambuco shot him. Felipe died there, but Liana's suffering continued. For 2 more days, she was beaten, starved, tied up, and repeatedly assaulted by the men. Her hope slowly faded. By November 4th, police search teams were getting closer. The criminals panicked. Champigna realized something. If Liana survived, she would be the only witness against them. So he told the others he would take her to a bus stop and let her go. But that was a lie. Instead, he led her deep into the forest. As Liana walked ahead of him, he suddenly attacked. He slashed her neck with a knife. Injured and bleeding, Liana tried to run, but he stabbed her again and again until she collapsed. 16-year-old Liana Friedenbach died there in the forest. Eventually, one of the criminals was found wandering drunk in the woods and was arrested. During interrogation, he revealed everything. Police quickly captured the remaining attackers. In July 2006, the court delivered its verdict. One received 100 taus, 24 years in prison. Another received 110 years. Others received long sentences as well. But for Liana and Felipe's families, no sentence could undo the horror of what had happened. A simple weekend trip had turned into one of Brazil's most disturbing crimes, and a reminder that sometimes the most beautiful places can hide the darkest dangers. This was yet another shocking story exposing the hidden depths of crime. If you value truth and in-depth investigations, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you're the first to get our latest reports. Share your thoughts in the comments and let us know which story you want to see next. Stay with our America Crime Depth Reports and uncover the truth behind every case.